Hi everybody, making a quick video to look at a particular favorite comic of mine, Batman number 423. I've said several times in conversations with different comic fans that this is my favorite Batman comic of all time, my favorite Batman story, and not a lot of people have heard of it. They always talk about The Dark Knight Returns and several different comics. And this one issue, to me, defines what I think Batman should be as a character. It is the Batman as I think of the character, and so I wanted to share it. So, first of all, before I get into the story, let's take a moment and appreciate this. It's a great cover by Todd McFarlane. It captures a lot of moodiness, and kind of, though the scene never appears in the comic, gives a good feel for the type of story that we're dealing with. It's, the story that shows you a little bit how creepy and dark Batman can be, as well as how human he can be. And that's why I've always really liked this particular story. The title of the story is You Should Have Seen Him. And I'm going to read some of the scenes out just to kind of give you a little bit of the story, and then I'll just kind of give an overview of some of the parts that I don't read. The comic starts in the voice of the cop trying to talk the guy about to jump off a bridge down. He couldn't have been more than 18, and he'd already decided life wasn't worth living. It was on the Gotham Borough Bridge. The call came down to emergency services about 2:45 a.m. All I could get out of him was that his name was Kenny, and he had a heroin habit he couldn't beat. That's the reason why he was planning to check out. Kenny was going to step into that big step off into infinity, 465 feet straight down into the ice-cold waters of Gotham River. Of course, it's my job to talk poor jerks like Kenny out of doing themselves in. Unfortunately, Kenny wasn't buying anything I had to sell. All he wanted to do was escape from the mess that dope had made of his life. I gave it all I had, but I knew it wasn't enough. I was losing him. That's when the Batman showed up. It was like he popped out of nowhere. So this is the young fool who wants to end his own life? Stay back! Don't touch me! I'll jump! That would be a big mistake. Well, sucker, I ain't got squat to live for. You're never better off dead. You miss out on all the possibilities. What possibilities, man? The chances to start a new and better life. Listen, man, I'm poor and I'm black. I got a Jones I can't shake. Got no family, no job, no future. Ain't no better life waiting for me. And the guy jumps. No! The cop tries to stop Batman from jumping off the bridge after him. Batman, don't! 465 feet straight down. At that height, hitting the water would be like hitting cement. Not even the Batman could survive such a fall. I looked away, so I didn't see the unexpected stop, 20 feet above the water. As they hung there, I could see Batman talking to the young junkie. I couldn't hear what he was saying, but I asked Kenny about it later. That was real stupid, Kenny. You threw your life away, wasted it. By all means, you should be dead now. But you're not. You got another chance. It's time to start over, Kenny. Get on a drug rehab program. Clean up your body and your life. Quit looking for excuses to fail. You've got as good a shot as anyone. Think about it. Then Batman unhooked himself, swung over to the bridge, and disappeared into the framework before anyone got a chance to thank him. So the scene of the comic cuts over, and this is really the gist of the comic story, is that it's a bunch of cops sharing stories about their run-ins with the Batman. And the guy that said, yeah, you should have seen him, and he's like, yeah, I did see Batman tonight. And we cut to a scene of a robbery in progress at a small shop, and the punks are intimidating people. They've got guns, and it's a pretty violent situation. And you get a series of shots of the reactions of everybody. in the shop that, you know, they got the cops out and it's a face-off, and then Batman. And you get basically Batman tearing apart these robbers. So again, like I said, this comic story gives us a little bit of a view of different versions of who Batman would be to different people. To the robbers, Batman is not going to be a guy that's going to talk them out of, you know, suicide or something like that. And in fact, he, you know, intimidates the one robber into letting the hostage go. Actually tries to take a shot at Batman. And so that situation's over, and the cops are talking, and yeah, that Batman is one tough old mother, mean and cold as ice. And one cop walks up. No, he's not. Huh? Say what? Sorry to interrupt your conversation. My name's Jackson, Kirby Jackson. I ran into Batman tonight myself. But I got a completely different impression of the man than either of you did. Have a seat. Yeah, tell us about it. It was just a little bit before 5 this morning. I was patrolling down by the docks. That's when I spotted them. Just kids. Couldn't figure out what they were doing out so late down in the warehouse district. They took off as soon as they realized I'd spotted them. Figured I could catch them on foot, so I chased after them. I was wrong. They were fast and agile. They knew the territory, too. Out a little late, aren't we? So yeah, you got Batman stops them, and there's a little bit of a scuffle as the kid picks up the stick. Like, you're not taking us back. You can't make us. And the cop says, look, seeing that, I was scared for the kids. Batman walks over. Can we talk about this? He knew just what to say to put them at ease. Turns out their names were Hank and Jenny Watkins. I figured they were a couple of runaways. Once again, I was wrong. Batman finally convinced them to show him where they lived. Their home was a packing crate under the West Side Highway. I couldn't believe it. So Batman and the cops end up talking to the kids and getting their story about how they ended up homeless, and how social services tried to put them in a home, but they were going to split them. One was going to go to a boys' home, and the other was going to go to a girls' home, and they were the only family they had left. So, little boy, Mom and Pa would have wanted us to stay together. The cop telling the story. That's when I saw it. He turned his face away from the fire, hoping the shadows would hide it. But I saw it anyhow. He wiped his eyes before he turned back. Kids, I'm going to see it that you're never separated ever again. I have a friend. His name's Bruce Wayne. He can put you up until we locate any relative you might have back in Florida. You mean like Aunt Susan? Exactly. Any objections, officer? Oh, what could I say? We went back to my patrol car, called Commissioner Gordon on the radio to take care of the paperwork needed so Wayne could take custody of the kids. Half hour later, everything was set. Incredible. Thought you might be interested in hearing the story. Gotta run. Wife needs a ride to work. See you around. Take care. Quite a tale, hey? Pile of bull droppings, if you ask me. The jerk heard us talking and made up that story about Batman to impress us. You think so? No doubt about it. The Batman crying? Give me a break. So the next shot goes to 6 a.m. at Wayne Manor. Home playboy philanthropist Bruce Wayne. And he's checking in on the kids. But, so anyways, yeah, this is my favorite Batman comic. I love the idea that, all three stories, the cops have very different encounters with Batman, and I the big thing is, and a lot of Batman comics fail on this, this comic writes Batman as a human being. And when they write him like a human being, he's a great character. I want characters that I can relate to when I read comics, that aren't just filled with rage all the time, but can look at the plight of some kids and really feel emotion as well. And so they still sometimes write Batman like that, but not very often. And so this is the example. Anytime I get into a conversation with someone and they talk about how they love the dark, gritty Batman, and I'm like, I want a Batman that will shed a tear occasionally and be a human being. And this comic really did that. Real quick, to give credit to the writers, that's Jim Starlin wrote it with Dave Cockrum as the penciler. So, and Mike DiCarlo was the inker. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed a little look at this comic. Well worth picking up. You ever see it in a back issue bin? It's a great story. A lot of good Batman comics from that period. Got a few more here that I was looking at while organizing. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to comment, and I'll make more at some point.